So today we're going to be talking about how to steal your competitor's SEO, and this is hands down my favorite way to start every single SEO project that I do. And honestly, if you're not doing this stuff, I don't really think you're doing your job properly. By the end of this video, we're going to learn how to steal your competitors' keywords, their content, and their backlinks, so be sure to watch to the end because all of this stuff is super important if you want to beat them, and all of it is highly valuable. All right, let's get into it. I'm Chris Regis, and I've got a seven-figure link building agency, and you've probably seen me around at some conferences or my other YouTube channel or on some podcasts, but you can head over to my website for more information on all of that. And some of you might remember this article about the SEO heist that this guy posted about on Twitter that went super viral, where he basically just talked about how he stole a bunch of their competitors' content by scraping their XML sitemaps and then auto-generating all that content with AI. We're not really going to be talking about that, but you could use AI on a lot of this stuff to speed up the process. We're going to be talking about how to do this stuff in a much more legitimate way, a way that's much more suited towards long-term sustainable rankings. Because although this was pretty cool and he did get millions of traffic for a bit, Google then did end up penalizing the site. And partially, a lot of that is probably because he did it publicly, but whatever. We're going to stay away from content spam for now. So I'm going to be using Ahrefs a lot in this video, but if you don't have Ahrefs or you're looking for some better SEO tools, you can head over to my website and click this recommended tools page to see some of my favorite tools that I recommend for SEO. So first up, let's talk about how to steal your competitors' keywords. And the first thing you need to do this is to find a good competitor. And the kind of competitor that you really want to find is one that has a website that's very similar to yours, a website and a business model. So for example, I know that this is a competitor of our link building agency, linkbuilder.io. I also know that they produce a ton of SEO content, a ton of link building content. And I know that this company is pretty much doing the exact same thing that we're doing, right? They're not an SEO. They don't post content about a bunch of different SEO stuff. They're really focused on link building and they post content about link building. So for example, let's say you have a website about dogs. You don't want to find a website that's all about pets or just home in general. Although you could, except it's going to take a little bit more time and effort. And if you can find a competitor that's really drilled down to the exact same kind of focus that you are, it'll make things a lot easier. And one of the main ways you can do this is just by typing in some big keywords, some keywords that you know that any competitor in your industry will be trying to rank for. So for example, I could type in link building services, and if I scroll down here, say there's backlink, and there's link builder right up here at the top, right? If you have a tool like Ahrefs or like one of the other tools on the list on my website, you can come to a page like this and just see your top competitors. And you can see here some of our main competitors are Ahrefs, linkbuilder.io, Legit, Searcharoo, Stellar SEO, RhinoRank, SEO Clerk. And I know from experience that a lot of these would make good websites that we could analyze, but for today we'll just stick with Link Builder. And my favorite and easiest way to do this is on Ahrefs, so I'll go ahead and just pull them up on Ahrefs. And then I want to go down here to the top pages tab. Now scrolling down here, we can see all of their pages and they are ranked in order as far as how much traffic each page is receiving. So you know the ones at the top here are the ones that are bringing them in the most traffic. And it also shows us the top keyword for each of these top ranking pages on the right-hand side. So what I can do is go ahead and just export this into an Excel file. Export all, there we go. And now I've got all of their URLs as well as a top keyword for each of those URLs in a sheet. And the reason I like doing it this way and not looking at the organic keywords tab is because by doing it this way, we already have everything clustered for us. So if you just go over to organic keywords and you have all of these millions and millions of keywords here, and you're saying, okay, well, I've got, 100,000 keywords. Now I need to know which keywords go on which pages. And that takes a lot of work, right? A lot of work and time. And then you have to end up paying for some other clustering tool like Keyword Cupid to do it all for you because, yeah, insane amounts of time involved. But all you really need to know is the main keyword that the page is targeting. And you can see that by saying their top keyword, but really you can just see it by looking at the keyword they have in the URL here. And about 99% of the time, if these guys know how to do SEO, which they do because we already checked that they're ranking well for the stuff we're trying to rank for, then we know that they're going to be using the main keyword right here in the URL slug. And if not there, it'll be definitely in the SEO title. So let's pull up a couple of these pages. We can see this page is targeting white label link building in the URL and in the H1 white label link building services. Next page, they're targeting backlink monitoring in the URL and 10 backlink monitoring tools in the H1. And this one, they're targeting link building software in the URL and 16 link building software solutions of 2024 in the H1. So now you're probably thinking, well, what about all the other keywords that need to be on those pages? Well, the secret is if you're actually writing the content well for this keyword, those kind of other keywords will be included in your article almost automatically, just by covering the topic fully. We'll go into that more in a minute. There's another way you can make sure you're getting all these keywords in and you don't really need to worry about stealing them from your competitor. All you need to know are the URLs that they're ranking for and the top keywords that are on each page. And if you don't have Ahrefs, you can do this too, but it's a little bit more difficult. First of all, you just come to the website. If you have a plugin like Ahrefs, a lot of the times they'll have the sitemap here. We can just click here and they'll take you right to the sitemap. And the sitemap is basically just a list of all URLs on the website, and they're feeding this information to search engines, so it makes it easier to crawl their website. And you can click around and then you can very easily get a long list of blog articles like we have right here. The disadvantage to doing it this way is, of course, you're not going to get how much traffic they're getting for each article, and you're also not going to get what their top keyword is. But like I showed you before, it's really easy to see what the top keyword for these pages is. So no, you don't need Ahrefs to do this method, but it does make it a lot easier because it gives you an idea of what articles to prioritize in this process. And if you don't have a plugin like Ahrefs, you can also find a sitemap a lot of times by just typing in some of this stuff. For example, you can just type in their domain.com/sitemap.xml or /sitemap_index.xml. Here are some other options here. If you need more information on that, just Google how to find a site sitemap. It's pretty easy to do. So now we have every single page that our competitor is ranking for and the top keyword for that page prioritized by how much traffic they're getting. So we know exactly how many articles we need to write to catch up to them. And you could do this with more than one competitor because usually one competitor doesn't cover everything, right? So you could go to your top 3 or top 5 competitors, see what articles they all have, and then fill in the gaps. But we have a long list of content that needs to be created, so now we need to create the content. So for doing the content and making sure that your content has all the keywords that you want to be targeting, there is a free way to do this and a paid way. Let's go ahead and do the free way first. So let's start with this article, where does my website rank on Google? And using a free Chrome extension like Detailed or like using the Ahrefs extension, you come in and check their heading so you can see exactly how their article is structured, right? And this is really important because it gives you a good idea of, number one, how the article flows, but also all of the important sections and all of the important subtopics that this article covers. And I can tell you with a pretty good chance that if your article is to cover the same subtopics as this article, you'll pretty much have about 80% of the keywords you want that article to have to make sure it ranks well and ranks for all the different stuff. But when you're doing this, I wouldn't just copy the one article. I would go ahead and search for that keyword on Google as well. Check website rank on Google. And you can do the same thing here and just open up these other pages that have articles similar to the one that you want to have. And you'll notice that I didn't check this one, for example, because this is just a Chrome Web Store thing for some kind of app. So obviously this article is not going to be like the other articles that are up there. But you could do the same thing here and just open up Detailed and see how all of these articles are structured, and then put all of those different headings into an Excel file and say, okay, well, these articles all talk about these same topics. We'll definitely include those. Oh, this one has these other topics that are also important. I'll put those in. So you're just taking the best of kind of all worlds here. So really, if you're doing that and you know the topic well, or your author knows the topic well, there's not really going to be much else you need to do. If you're just trying to write a good article and you're covering most of the stuff and then trying to add in some new stuff of your own in there, you're really not going to need to do too much more as far as content optimization. Aside from, of course, getting your main keyword in the article URL and then the title tag up here and the H1. But if you want to, you can go ahead and just copy the entire article and then post it into ChatGPT. And I've written a prompt here that says, give me a list of the top 50 most important semantically related keywords to check website rank on Google in this article. And you can see here, ChatGPT has given me a pretty nice list of a bunch of keywords I'll want to make sure to include in the article. You don't need to go crazy with this, just try to make sure a lot of this stuff is included at least one time in the article. And you can do the same thing with a few other competitor articles as well to get a real well-rounded set of keywords. And again, I'm just going to repeat myself because I feel like a lot of people try to overcomplicate this. But if you're getting the main keyword in your URL slug up here, in your title tag up here, in your H1, and then you're trying to cover the topic fully and trying to write a good article based on those subtopics that you've seen from your competitors, you're going to have a very good article that's going to rank pretty well. I guess the last thing I'll mention really quick, because I forgot, is to see your competitor's word count. Again, I'm using Detailed, the free extension here. You can see the word count is 2,250 words right here. You can do the same thing. Check your top 3 to 5 competitors that have similar articles to you. And write an article that's about in the same ballpark as the others. It doesn't have to be longer, just write in the same ballpark. Now, can you use AI to write these articles? Yes, you absolutely can. I like to use AI as a starting point a lot of the times, but I end up doing a ton of editing after the fact to make sure my articles are good and that readers like them and that I don't end up getting penalized later down the road. So you can see I've got this big checklist here that I've got for my authors, but the main things that I really focus on here are adding EAT into the articles as well as information gain. The main things with EAT that I try to add are things that show your expertise or your experience with it, your firsthand knowledge of this topic. And then as far as information gain, I'm trying to add things that the other articles don't have, which means basically nouns or entities, whatever you want to call them, more stuff in the article that other articles don't talk about so that your article has some kind of unique angle as determined by Google's algorithm, as determined by this kind of math machine when it's judging these articles. And remember, Google doesn't know what these articles are about, but if your article has other nouns and other attributes for these nouns, then it will be seen as different and unique. But there's a bunch of other stuff here, but those are the two that really take the most time and are the most important. And now for the paid ways to have this content written, making sure it's properly optimized, you can head over to my website to the recommended tools page and then scrolling back down here to the content optimization tools. You can see I recommend Surfer SEO, Page Optimizer Pro, and Neuron Writer. And I'm not going to make a tutorial on how to use these tools right now, but the TLDR is that it basically can help you write the articles. It can even suggest headings for you, and then it has these keywords over here that it will show you if you have them in your article or not. So it just makes the whole thing really easy to do, right? But these are paid tools, of course, some of them cheaper or more expensive than others. So you can definitely check those out on my page for more information. So we've stole all of our competitors' articles. We've then gone and written content or written our own articles for each of those and posted it on our website. And they're all optimized really well with on-page SEO. And we've included a bunch of other keywords in those articles to make sure they cover the topic fully and they rank well. Now we need the most important part of the equation, which is backlinks, which is also everyone's least favorite part of SEO because no one likes reaching out to a million websites and trying to negotiate a deal where they can get backlinks on those sites. That's why I have a link building agency that's successful because people hate doing this stuff. And it's why I can make videos like this free backlinks video that already has 4K views, or this video about backlinks and how much they actually still matter in 24, and it looks like it has about 8K views now. So yeah, everyone hates this stuff, but everyone knows this is super important for SEO. And yeah, if you're enjoying the content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, give the video a like while we're at it as well. So how do you steal your competitors' backlinks? And for this one, you're definitely going to need a tool. But if you don't have the budget for Ahrefs, definitely go and check out some of the other tools on my list there for some cheaper options. So the way I do not like to do this is to come into the website like this and click backlinks and then try to just reach out to all of these websites and try to get a link from them. I feel like there's a much easier way to do this that will be a lot more successful. And this is basically known as skyscraper outreach. So again, let's just go to our top pages page on Ahrefs. Then for each page here, we can just go ahead and open up the backlinks and see the backlinks that each of these individual pages has. So you can see this article on white label link building has 23 referring domains. This one has 6 referring domains, and this one has 4 referring domains. And if you've done link building at all, you know that this amount of referring domains is really not enough. You're really going to want more than that because it is a numbers game when you're reaching out to these websites. So what you could do here is for this keyword, white label link building, I could go ahead and export this to a CSV and just take all of these domains that are linking to this page. I could then come to Ahrefs Keywords Explorer and type again white label link building. Now I have a list of the top 10 rankers for this keyword, and there's us right here at Sir Links a Lot. I could look at the backlinks that are going to all of these pages, and then I could put all of these into a big master list. And really, I could do more than 10. I could even do the top 20 or top 30, and that will easily give us a list of backlinks that's much higher than 20 or 5 or 10 or whatever per page. Hopefully, we'll get a list of backlinks that's more like 100 or 200 referring domains. And what's good about this tactic is we know that they're already linking to similar content, so our outreach process is very simple and it can be much more successful. Because we know that they're linking to an article that's literally the exact same thing that we're writing right now. And our article will hopefully be better than theirs. So you want to reach out to these websites with a very simple outreach message, just short and to the point. It'll go something like this. Hey, and use their name. I noticed you wrote an article on blah, 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 where you link to blah, blah, blah as a source. We just wrote an article on this at Sir Links a Lot that, and right here you can include why your article is better than the other article that your readers will love. We would love if you would consider linking to our newer and improved content. Let me know if there's anything I could do to make this worth your time, open to options. So this basically lets them know that you're ready to play ball. If they want some money or whatever, you are open to that at least. Or maybe they don't want money, maybe they're willing to just do it for free, or maybe they're willing to do it for something else. And like I mentioned before, this is a numbers game, but you've amassed a list of hopefully 100 to 200 or even more referring domains. It'll really just depend on the content. Some content is more linkable than other content. You then send emails to all of these websites, and hopefully some of them will agree to link to your content as well. And then you could go ahead and do this for every single article that you've already stolen from your competitor by looking up the backlinks that they have, as well as the backlinks from all the other top rankers for that keyword. And then you could do the same thing with home pages as well, because a lot of your competitors' backlinks will come to their homepage. So you can look up the home pages for all your competitors to see all the backlinks that are going to all of their home pages and do the same exact thing and reach out to them. Of course, when you're doing this, you're not going to want to send an email to every single one, but you can put some filters in Ahrefs. And I usually filter for something like, say, DR 20 plus, domain traffic 500 plus, or you could do 1,000 even. And this narrowed down our list quite a bit from about 400 to about 100 referring domains. But still then, all of these backlinks are definitely not going to be ones that you want to reach out to. A lot of them might be things like directories or whatever. Just look at the website before you reach out to them so you make sure you're not wasting a ton of time, right? And if you reach out to them and you do not get an answer, definitely be sure to follow up at least 2 times to make sure that you're getting back to the top of their inbox and giving them another chance to see your message and reply. Following up is super important here. So we've stolen all of our competitors' keywords, we've stolen their content as well, and we've stolen their backlinks. Now what? So now it's time to go above and beyond what your competitors have and to write more content that they're not covering yet and to get backlinks that they do not have yet. But those are topics for another video, so definitely go ahead and subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, that's it for now. Bye-bye. See you next time.